Alright, hello again guys. In this video I'm going to show you how to set up a table of contents and get a few more sections going, including front matter. So first, let's get another section going. So we left off here with our Latin, which I will continue to leave there, and we're going to start a new section. And my new section is going to be called Tobias's Lifestyle. And I'm going to build this, and I'm going to say Tobias, not Tobias, although he lives in a hole in the ground, he also likes to climb trees. Alright, so if I build this, we're going to get our new section starting here after our introduction, and it's already labeled 2. And so this is good. Latex is taking care of this for us. We could also create subsections if we wish. So I'm going to create a subsection down here. Maybe this will make it easier to see for you guys. Alright, a subsection. And I'm going to call it Where Tobias Gets Food. And in this section I will say, usually groundhogs nibble on greens found on the ground, but not Tobias. He is the exception to this rule. Alright, so we have that. If we build that, we automatically get our subsection, and the default numbering system is 1, 2, 3, whatever for the sections, and then subsections have the next space. Next digit over. You could also create a subsection if you wish. This goes on, and you can also, there's all kinds of things you can do. So subsection, this is a subsection, and if we build that, you see that you could get a subsection if you wish. Now I mentioned that having this label here where we labeled the introduction could come in handy later, and I'll demonstrate how this is useful. So in Tobias's Lifestyle, I'll say the introduction is found on page ref section intro. Yeah, and that's exactly how it reads. See, the introduction is found on page 1, and this is page 1. Now you might not like that all of this is on page 1. Maybe you want this section to be on its own page, and you want the next section to start on its next page, and these are things that you can change. What you can do here is just start a new page. If we do that, we have Tobias's Lifestyle starting on the second page with all the subsections and whatever following it, and the page numbers automatically update. Well, now that we have all these pages, I'm starting to lose track of what's going on here, and I think it would be best to install a table of contents. And the way we do that is we start here. This is after the title page. I want the table of contents to go right in here before the introduction. So the way we go about doing that is, first I'm going to table of contents. That should build it, right? And it does. Here we go, contents, but it's empty. Why is it empty? Well, it's empty because we just built it, and if we were to rebuild the file again, we populate the table of contents with what's actually here. So it should take 2 passes for a table of contents, list of figures, which I'll get to later, list of tables, anything that references anything requires a couple passes. So you gotta keep that in mind. Now I don't like that the introduction is on the same page as the contents. This is just not what I want. So I'm going to clear the rest of this page, which pushes the introduction down to here on page 2. Well, this is another problem because we don't want, and you see here introduction 1, and the introduction actually starts on 2. This is again because we just built it. So if we build it again, now introduction starts on 2, and introduction is on 2. Now we have a page number here on our table of contents, and I don't want that. You usually don't have your table of contents pages labeled, and so you got to get rid of that page number. And the way you could go about doing that is by changing the page style. So we're going to say this page style is going to be empty. And there we go. So it's empty now. No more page number down here on the contents page in introduction. But the introduction is still starting on page 2. Even if I build it again, it's still starting on page 2. And we don't want the contents page to be page 1. So we're going to have to reset our page counter on the introduction page back to 1 after doing this. So the way you do that is we're going to set counter. We're going to set our page counter. We're going to set it to 1. And this is after we've cleared the rest of this page. So there we go. Our introduction is now page 1. If I build again, the table of contents points to the introduction being on page 1. Excellent. So this is great and all, but what happens if we want some sort of front matter, something between the title page and the table of contents here? We could insert a section in here, right? So you would think this would work, right? So I'm just going to make some room here. So this is before the table of contents, but after the title page. Let's create a section, and let's call it Excellent. I am well protected. Let's call this section Summary. And this is the summary section. This video teaches you how to write a report in Latex. All right. If I build that, we have our summary on the same page as the table of contents, no page number. Well, that doesn't look so great. So what we could do here is we can clear the rest of the page. So we have title page, we have our section, we have our summary section here. We have it listed as page 1. We have our table of contents, and then we have our introduction labeled as page 1. So we obviously have a problem here. We have 2 page 1s, and our table of contents says they're both on the same page, and it doesn't recognize that this is some sort of front matter. So I also don't like the fact that summary here has a 1 in front of it. To clear that 1, just put an asterisk after the section, and there you go. But consequently, by doing that, you remove summary from your table of contents, and it's still 1. Now, we might have more sections here, more than just summary. You know, if you're writing a big report, you might have like acknowledgments or a recommendations, list of figures. If that goes before your table of contents, I'm unsure. But you don't want this to be page 1, and you do want it to be in the table of contents. So we're going to have to fix that. And the way we can do that is, like, I do want this page numbered, I just don't want it number 1. So we could change it from our number system here to a different page style. So we could say different page numbering style. So we could say that we're going to change it to Roman. And let's put that before the section. So if I do that, here we go. So summary is on page I. Okay, cool. It doesn't show up still because we haven't told it to. And it shows up I here in our introduction. Well, we don't want that either. So what we can do there is we could go and set our page numbering to Arabic, which is our number system. And now our introduction is page 1. Table of contents does not have a page number. Our summary is page I. Perfect. Almost. So what else we need is we need to get it showing up inside of our table of contents. And how do we go about doing that? Well, what we could do is immediately after the section heading, let's just make some space here. So this is front matter stuff. Should probably get more comments going in. This is table of contents stuff. And then this is main body stuff. All right, so we got that going. Where was I? I want to add summary into our table of contents. So the way we could go about doing that is after our section summary, we can add contents line. So this is adding a line of contents to the table of contents. It is going to be a section, and we want a number line. and we want, this is if we want a number line rather. And build once more, and there we go. So we have our summary inside of our contents. So what we have now is we have a title page, we have front matter, and we can extend this if we wish. So let's create a, so we've cleared that double page. Let's create a section. We're going to call it acknowledgements. And thanks to Latex creators. And then clear double page. And of course, we want to add this to our table of contents. So we're adding to our table of contents a section. If we do that, then we have our acknowledgement section on a separate page. If we wanted it to be like that, it's page II. And on the second, oh, we don't want to call it summary. What am I doing? We want to call it acknowledgements. And on our second pass, we have our acknowledgements II, and our introduction still starts on page 1. So there you go. That's all there is to it for creating front matter in front of your table of contents. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to get a figure inserted into your report, as well as a table. So likely you're going to want to import data. I might break it up into a couple videos because the data one could, the table one could involve a little bit of time. But I'm going to show you how to get a figure inserted. I'm going to show you how to get lists and a list of figures inserted, as well as tables and a list of tables. So I hope you see me then.